Hello to all my friends of TV Agro, my name is Diego Diaz, I am a veterinarian of Faunaticos Parque Temático. We are located in Tenjo, Cundinamarca. Our visitors who come to this wonderful place have a close experience with all the animals, and that is why today we are going to talk about the integral management of domestic animals. The park has more than 1,000 animals in different species of ornamental birds, mammals such as sheep, goats, equines, canines, felines, rodents, and an exotic bird species, ostriches. This integrated management is very important and it works as follows. The park has different operators who are in charge of a specific species and are under my custody. What we do is a preventive management, and we must always keep in mind that animal welfare is the priority. How do we achieve this welfare? With two basic principles. One, that all their nutritional and physiological needs and their mental state are covered. We achieve this, one, with the support of its operators, where each one of them is in charge of the maintenance of all the animals, in terms of their facilities, in terms of their dietary management, in terms of the substrates and the cleaning of the pens, and the mental management that we give to the animals. To give them comfort is also carried out by the operators, giving that management of pen changes, giving them handling, so that they feel in their enclosures in a comfortable and pleasant way so that all the visitors can enjoy them in the best way. The park has different sections. We have a section of birds. This section has an operator. In this area we find ornamental birds mostly. The first of them are the ornamental hens. In addition to 10 breeds that we can find, we also find some relatives of the hens. We also find semi-aquatic birds, which are divided into different groups according to their sizes. There are fancy ducks, we have geese, swans, geese, and the largest family size are the ostriches, which are part of these ornamental birds in the collection of the park. Then we continue with a rodent section. We have a biotherium and we breed rodents to support a little bit the zoos and their parks, which must be supplied with this type of animals. We have a variety of mice, rats that also need maintenance, care and welfare. In the canine section we find different breeds of dogs, where there is an operator specialized in the nutrition and training of these animals. As the park presents a show and an exhibition of pets, it is very nice and they are the protagonists of the show. We have the largest area for domestic animals, where we have different breeds of horses. We have dwarf donkeys, there are alpacas, llamas, mini pigs, sheep and goats. And in this area an operator is in charge of all the nutritional management and maintenance of the areas. Finally, we have the feline area. In that area we have an exhibition of various breeds of cats, where we also give them a handling. The generalities are basic. They keep a weekly control of the feeding of these animals. Each operator knows the type of feed that the animal should consume according to its stage of growth, if it is in an adult state. And we have a board where it is specified which are those formulations of diets with the different types of concentrate, of supplement if there is an animal that is in exercise. Let's talk a little bit specifically about each species, how this management and feeding can be. In poultry we must take into account the substrate and comfort to isolate, since we are in a cold climate, to isolate those wind currents, the general cleanliness of both feeders and drinkers, to avoid the appearance of fungi, the amounts of concentrate for the ration that the animal needs according to the number of individuals in the enclosures. This is the general management of the birds. It should also be noted that for each species, for each zone we have footbaths, since our operators move through different zones of the park, which is multi-species. It is important that we always have disinfection areas for shoes, which is an important vector that can transmit certain pathogens or agents that for one species may not be harmful to another that may be harmed and present some disease. The same for disinfection for the entrance of each of the corrals. It is important, both for the operators and some visitors, in the immersion corrals that we have and in the one we have for the sheep. Regarding the management of the equines, they have a very specialized diet. According to the physical activity they are developing, they have a type of concentrate that is supplemented with grains, green fodder, hay, water and medicines that are given orally or intravenously according to the activity they are exercising. For the equines also, as they are in training, we have a coach and a trainer who helps the physical activity of the animals. Regarding ostriches, management is divided into two stages. One is very important, the nutritional part. The appearance of the most common disease in ostriches are the impactations, by eating the soil substrate, which translates to poor dietary management, so it should always be very complete diet of these animals and behavioral management, as they are very powerful animals. It is also important that the operator is trained to handle these animals, that they understand a little of this ethology, these movements and these signs that these animals can give us, so that they can assimilate it, and the animal is always in a very docile behavior, since they are animals that can reach a height of 2.5 meters and weigh 120 kilos. They can become aggressive and we do not know how to handle them. We have other species of easy management, which are cattle and goats. It is a herd management that we do with preventive medicine. There is a program of deworming and weight control for them. The veterinary assistance that we may need is for some individual problem. It may be an accident. We have some female that we have to help in the process of childbirth. And speaking of births, each species has its controlled reproduction program, where we take the days of gestation. We have the necessary equipment in the park. We have the necessary equipment in the park to guard and provide health to the animals, such as microscopes, for example, to analyze reproductive issues, such as semen evaluation, or to evaluate the animal's blood. We also have an ultrasound scanner, which helps us a lot in these reproductive techniques to follow up. We have an office area in which I am in charge, where any animal that presents any novelty, any pathology, respiratory, digestive, an accident, we are ready to be able to give it that management. In general, it is very important that the leader who is coordinating all the operators is very synchronized and well versed in the species we are handling in terms of their enclosures, their feeding, and their welfare in general, to find animals that are very healthy, very comfortable, that can reproduce easily, that we can exhibit an animal in the best conditions and that visitors can see This reflected when they enjoy this type of animals, which is our main objective, that they can have that closeness to raise awareness about the care of animals and plants and value a little bit those natural resources that sometimes we have lost through the years. Always at the end of each month we have a general closing. There is an important meeting with the operators, where the people who are closest to the animals are evidenced and heard, as to what improvements we can have in the enclosures. If there is a problem animal in terms of behavior, if it is a breeding male, if it tends to make very territorial in its enclosure, to give it the best possible management. The diets, if they are well formulated, and we have had weight gains, but despite the fact that this place has farm animals that are only for exhibition and not for production, we always have adequate parameters. But when we have a farm or we give it a productive management, we must intensify much more all these contributions of information regarding weight gains, the age of the animals, deworming programs, which is the purpose of this type of animals. Whether we are talking about poultry farming, we are talking about pig farming or cattle management, whether for milk or meat, all have the same management pattern to carry out a business with animals that are well cared for, well kept, and that have an adequate welfare. Well, and with this we say goodbye. I hope you have learned a little about the management we give to this type of animals. Do not forget to visit us at Faunaticos Theme Park in Tenjo, Cundinamarca. Until next time.